Like and subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Our state is at war with our family. Clergy with trans children are fighting back. All of this had brought the family to this fateful moment 3 years later, when Bogard and his now 9-year-old son squeezed into the family's minivan at dawn for one of their regular 4-hour round-trip trips to the Missouri capital in Jefferson City. To sharing her story with lawmakers, the rabbi worried about what might lie ahead. Child protection bills, as some Republicans have described their actions, which restrict gender-affirming health care and restrict schools' handling of gender identity, have become this year's rallying cry in that state and elsewhere. In Missouri, Senate President Pro Tem Caleb Rowden promised big stuff regarding the transgender issue in this session. At least 31 bills, one of the largest in any U.S. state, were introduced by the Republican supermajority and are aimed at the participation of youth in school sports, the ability to change gender on birth certificates, gender-affirming medical treatments, and other rights of LGBTQ people. Similar laws have been introduced in at least 11 states. The measures that frighten families like the Bogards the most would classify efforts to support children and young people seeking medical treatment to help them transition to their preferred gender as child abuse. While the percentage of teenagers and young adults who identify as transgender remains tiny, it has more than doubled from one generation to the next. While 0.5% of all adults in a 2017 to 2020 survey by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported being transgender, 1.4% of 13 to 17-year-olds, and 1.3% of 18 to 24-year-olds to be transgender. So in the survey, on their recent trip to the state capitol, the Bogards joined the families of 2 other faith leaders, who have also been keen to stop actions they say are devastating their children's lives. Though they came from different religious traditions, 2 are Jewish, and 1 is Christian. The leaders had quickly become friends during their community service years ago. All were in their 30s, idealistic, and still had something in common over the years. Each had a child who felt like they had been born the wrong sex child as a boy. Reform communities, the largest Jewish denomination in the United States, have welcomed LGBTQ members for decades. In 2015, its Religious Action Center released a guide on transgender inclusion, and last week its rabbis vowed to take a leadership role against anti-transgender laws. It is our sacred duty to nurture every holy person in all our diverse expressions and experiences of gender, the Central Conference of American Rabbis said in a resolution. But Bogard said the same text has been interpreted by some Jewish scholars as showing how we started with an amorphous gender, and then split apart an analysis that allegedly confirms all sorts of gender identities, including the blue, pink and white colors of transgender pride flag, and some families asked some questions about pronouns, but his son's friends remained his friends, and he still had the same outgoing personality and loves everything sport-related. He now plays on the boys' basketball and soccer teams, and will take up baseball in the spring. He is also interested in chess, ceramics, and 3D modeling software. Teach yourself to play the ukulele, and talks about becoming a space scientist. Over the years, he'd come to believe that the best, and possibly only, hope of staving off aggressive anti-trans laws is to humanize the children and their families, to help lawmakers understand that they are a little different from their own. Which is why he had allowed his 2 sons to go with him to tell lawmakers about their lives, despite the online harness and even death threats they had received in the past. Like Bogard's son, Harris Dalt's daughter had enjoyed a childhood where her gender identity was not a big issue. At 2 years old, while still identifying as a boy, she wore tutus on special occasions.